that was working its way around monoclonal antibodies. So that was really important data. And so I thought, oh, let me reach out to these guys and see what they're doing. And what I came to find was that they were not able to get the money from anywhere else except at sequencing, but they were so motivated, partly by the scientific connections they had from the people they hired, that they decided to just pay for it out of their own pocket. And so the company that started the pandemic response lab, they're actually like a robotic lab supply companies. So they had machines. That was one thing that they had going for them. And their business obviously benefited from some of the ramp up in laboratory testing during the pandemic. So they had some funding to work with. But it's just remarkable that we were relying on a large chunk of New York City sequencing happening to a group that was just doing it because they it was the right thing to do.
You mentioned a little bit about why the sequencing is so important, but everybody's kind of goals of using that sequencing data is different. You know, on the federal level, they might have different goals on using that data, and even more, smaller, more granular, state and local governments might have different ideas with that. But tell us a little bit about why it can be helpful. Because in the long term, pharmaceutical companies can start planning booster shots, things like that, which we've already seen. Pfizer and Moderna saying we might need these. But they need to know which way the virus is mutating so that they can plan for it.
Yeah, so it's interesting. When we talk about national priorities and local priorities, of course there's this overarching priority of ending the pandemic. But on a national level, there's only so much they can do because we had to suspend where states run their health departments. So each state has its own health department, and that's why we've had different vaccine rules or school rules or so on and so forth. We've had a lot of different regulations built even in neighboring states. So that's just the way we set up our system here, and that creates some impediments for the CDC to say go out and tell states to do X, Y, or Z because states have the opportunity and autonomy to make some decisions themselves. So at the end of the day, the local level, what you really want is you want your sequencing information fast enough so you're getting the data back in time to say, oh, wait a second, something's happening. We have a new mutation in this community. Because it's not as though you discover a mutation, by the way. A scientist wouldn't find one and immediately say, like, oh, we've got X, Y, or Z mutation. What they're discovering is a change in a disease that's, a virus that's constantly changing. But they're discovering enough time to say that, oh, this is significant because they're also seeing the manifestations in the population of people, say, maybe more people are getting sicker or they're getting more severely ill when they get sick. So it's a different patient population. So you can sort of say, okay, this is happening. So this is really important to note because it underscores why you need more and more people. You can't figure this out with just one or two samples here and there. You need a lot of this going on. But then the physicians are frustrated. We need to reenact masking measures, or we may need to, do indicators when there's a quarantine instead of just quarantining a classroom. And just, spitballing here that there's public measures that they could use. But the most critical thing is there has to be enough sequencing going on and fast enough, because right now, the data's coming back in some cases in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the patient, patient zero, and all their contacts may be out of isolation already. And so we're not getting the data fast enough to figure out how to do anything with it that could actually change the course of the pandemic.
How much sequencing are we doing right now in the United States?
So the CDC estimates we're doing about 10%, which is actually a good level from just the strict. There's sort of these public health rules of thumb. Like we should be doing, some say 5%, some say 10% of all positive samples to know what's going on. The problem with a country as big as the United States, and something that quite a few scientists have pointed out to me, is 10% as a rule of thumb doesn't really get to the heart of the matter. Because what we really need to make sure is happening in the U.S. is that we're getting enough samples from enough different places. So maybe we're sequencing really aggressive in, Wyoming is actually a state that stands out that's doing a lot of sequencing, but it's a very small population. So we need to make sure that we're getting sequencing, say, that North Dakota is doing sufficient sequencing. And right now, I've got Missouri and Arkansas, states that really have a lot of sequencing going on because their cases are rising really quickly. So saying 10% at the federal level, it's kind of hard to parse because their data that they give out, it's not that clear exactly how much they're getting from what jurisdiction. And so in big jurisdictions where they're not getting that much sampling data, they're lumping it with other states. And so that becomes harder and harder to interpret in terms of what's going on where.
So the sequencing, the genetic sequencing has not been a big priority for some time, but the Biden administration did announce already some funding for this. I guess it's $1.7 billion in funding to make more of a priority of this. How is that going to be used?
So there are probably different ways that money is going to be spent. Some of it's going to be spent in the state health departments, which is good. That's a really good way to allocate money because they need more equipment, they need more space, they need to be able to make hires, have long-term bigger staff, etc. So that's a good thing. Then there's different chunks of money that are going towards things called centers of excellence. That actually, I think, is really quite meaningful, even though it's a little bit academic. It is partnerships between academic labs, state health labs. So what I found is that academic labs have a ton of capacity, but they have a really hard time getting funding or have had in this crisis. So that's going to be really important. But the CDC said that money is not, for the Center of Excellence, not coming until fiscal 2022. And then the last piece is what they're calling the National Bioinformatics Superhighway. And that's to help make the communications a lot quicker because, see, the goal or the dream here that one scientist said to me, and I think it's really a perfect analogy, is what we want is, say, like the National Hurricane Center style map, where you or I could log on and say we had a trip planned for Missouri, and then we take a look at the data and say, like, okay, wait a second, I know what's going on right now, and I know X or Y communication is there, I maybe don't want to make that decision. That data should also be in the public's hands, and there's been a bit of a reluctance, I think, to make public data publicly available that quickly. I don't know if it's a reluctance or just a lack of tools that have been built to do that, but I think that's got to be another priority. But the CDC has said that is a multi-year project, so it's probably not coming anytime soon.
Unfortunately, right? A system like that would be super helpful, as you said, just for a planning thing, for the public. But hopefully this is becoming more of a priority now. For a lot of people, the vaccines came and we thought the pandemic was getting under control, and the Delta variant is really kind of wreaking havoc in a lot of the unvaccinated population. So it is something that we need to turn our attention to continue monitoring how the virus is mutating. So hopefully we do get a handle on all of that. Cynthia Coombs, healthcare reporter at Bloomberg News, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Daily Dive Weekend Edition. You can catch a fresh episode of the podcast every morning, Monday through Friday on iHeartRadio. You can also follow us on social media at Daily Dive Pod on both Twitter and Instagram. Stay tuned for the Jesus Christ Show next. But first, into the newsroom. This is KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk.
Perfect for achy, ineffective mind. KFI's cooling info gel quickly relieves ignorance and is a big fresh scent.
KFI.
KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Remember, Monday will have live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Vigils have been held this weekend for the two teens who were shot and killed inside a movie theater in Corona. 19-year-old Anthony Barajas died after being taken off life support yesterday, and 18-year-old Riley Goodrich died in the shooting last Monday night. A friend of the teens tells NBC4 they were both so impactful.
Some people meet him once and they say, oh, he felt like a best friend right away. And even Riley's like, I feel like I've known him forever. She's so excited. So excited.
The man accused in the shooting will appear in court later this week. Lawmakers are looking at a plan that would allow cops to fight back against protesters in court. The Nassau County Legislature in suburban New York is set to vote on a proposal Monday that would make police officers and other first responders a protected class under the country's human rights law, which currently bars discrimination based on race, religion, gender, and sexual orientation. If it passes, first responders would then be able to sue protesters for financial damages. Civil rights activists say the bill is just payback for demonstrations after the police killing of George Floyd last year in Minneapolis. Amy King, KFI News. The FDA says it is using an all-hands-on-deck strategy to figure out ways to speed up the full approval process for Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. The agency says it's committing more employees and resources in an effort to get the vaccine approved by next January or sooner. The vaccine currently has emergency use authorization. Some public experts say more people may gain confidence in the vaccine if it is fully approved. The federal eviction moratorium has expired, which means millions of renters across the country are at risk of being evicted. Massachusetts Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren says Congress could have done more to protect people who are still struggling because of the pandemic.
There are families sitting around their kitchen tables right now trying to figure out how to survive a devastating, disruptive, and unnecessary eviction.
A study by the Aspen Institute says more than 15 million people in the U.S. are currently behind in their rent. The Senate plans to reconvene in a rare Sunday session to finish drafting the text of a $1 trillion infrastructure bill Senators made very little progress on the legislative package on yesterday, but Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer vowed the work would get done. Schumer wants voting to be concluded before senators break for their August recess. The feds are looking for gamers to be air traffic controllers. The FAA says it's looking for people between the ages of 18 and 30 who can use video gaming skills such as concentration, spatial awareness, and coordination for control tower roles. The agency says it plans to fill more than 4,000 jobs over the next 5 years. Let's head to a closure on the 405 in Costa Mesa.
Soon to be on the southbound side from Fairview to the 73. They have all lanes shut down due to bridge work. Also in South LA, we have a closure on the 110 southbound Slauson. All lanes are shut down due to police activity. Traffic is fast up to 51st. And here's Phelan 138 southbound after Stone Basin Road. A fire has all lanes blocked in both directions. Hey, a fire in the sky. Let's get you there faster. I'm Jonathan Wallace.
We will warm up today. I'll have the details next.
I am one of thousands of women with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC.
Which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body.
I am living in the moment and taking Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy.
Be in your moment. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
In 1775, the patriot Patrick Henry said, "Give me liberty or give me death." Hello, I'm John McCoyan, owner of River Hero Plumbing. Today, I feel it has become, take my liberties, just keep me safe. My late father cherished the freedom our nation's founders fought for. Still, he would have gotten vaccinated just to be able to work long hours to provide for his family. He would have done whatever it takes, mandate or not. That's who my dad was. As we approach Labor Day, there are less people in the workplace. I feel for restaurant owners, mom and pop bakeries, venues, and retail stores who are struggling to stay open. At Rooter Hero, we are blessed to have men and women who will do whatever it takes to help you. Our team worked through all of 2020, and they are here for you in 2021. It's your trust in us that keeps Rooter Hero Plumbing going. Thank you.
CL 102-8886.
Have you heard about AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens? AMAC is the conservative alternative to other 50-plus groups. AMAC stands against the problems facing America: government growth, erosion of liberties, and the enormous financial burden future generations will inherit if we do nothing. Stand with us. Join today at amac.us/freedom. That's amac.us/freedom. amac.us/freedom.
Why would a plumber just tell me what it costs to unclog my drain over the phone? Is it that complicated?
No, it's not. It makes no sense at all. They obviously have a price.
Whoa, you've got a nice aroma. Who are you?
Mike Diamond, the Smell Good Plumber.
Will you tell me how much to unstop my drain?
$99.
But you haven't seen it.
Don't need to. Doesn't matter if it's a kitchen sink or a mainline sewer stoppage. The Smell Good Plumbers at Mike Diamond will unclog almost any drain for $99.
Almost.
Yeah, there are a few exceptions, but you can read all about them on our website before you call. Just go to thesmellgoodplumber.com.
Wow, you're like upfront and everything. Thanks to the guy named Bubba who didn't tell me anything.
No Bubba's here, ma'am. Just professional plumbers who show up on time, smell good, and unclog drains for $99. Call us, 1-800-446-MIKE.
Contractor license number 399170.
Demand for unskilled workers is sky high. But who wants that life? There's demand for hundreds of thousands of IT and cybersecurity professionals in the U.S. My Computer Career is training people to meet it. Get skilled. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You can start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Through July, grants are covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Southland weather from KFI. Partly cloudy skies, highs in the low 70s for the beaches, mid to upper 80s for Metro LA and Inland OC, low 90s in the valleys, and mid to upper 90s for the Inland Empire, triple digits for the high desert, upper 80s in the mountains. Right now, 63 degrees in Orange, 60 in Aliso Viejo, 65 in City of Industry, 61 in Santa Monica. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Layla Muhammad.
The following is a pre-recorded program. Over 2,000 years ago, I walked this earth. Teaching, healing, inspiring, and preparing to make the ultimate sacrifice. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. What if today you and I could talk, voice to voice, and you could ask me anything? You are listening to the Jesus Christ Show. The Jesus Christ Show. Kfi Am, your holy host. Happy to be with you this Sunday, as I'm with you every single Sunday, right here answering your questions, talking about the things that truly matter in life, and of course the afterlife. We'll get your calls in just a little bit, so go ahead and call in with your questions, or if there's something going on in your life, anywhere in the U.S. 877-HOLY-HOST. That's 877-465-9467. It seems to be that there's a pattern, and it kind of motivates this cycle of ugliness or negativity. We've heard about books that are titled The Power of Positive Thinking. Well, I think there's more to it than that. However, there is something to be said about the power of negative thinking. Not in a pop psychology way, or not in some sort of metaphysical way. I mean, simply that if you set out on your day, whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, work, rest, or play, and your first thoughts, everything that you participate in when you interact with somebody, is always about the negative. You try and point out that somebody's doing something wrong. If that seems to be your pattern, or the pattern of people around you, I want you to think about it today. How you can change that. How you can build a better ratio of positive to negative. And I say that because it does build a cycle. When someone says something negative to you, there are the type of people that will receive that. The Bible calls it reproof, and you receive that. You go, okay, well, what do I need to change so that will not be what people see?
And then there are others, and this happens more often than not, where if you are told something negative about yourself, that the first thing you do is look for something negative in an attribute or execution, whatever it might be, in the person who's talking to you. You want to even the playing field. To you want to even things out by saying something negative back. And it becomes a very ugly cycle, a place to be where you're constantly looking to nitpick one another, to say something ugly. The strange thing is, people will go out of their way, and maybe you do the same thing, go out of your way to tell somebody if they did something wrong, to write a complaint letter, to speak to the manager, tell them that something wrong took place. But yet you won't spend the same amount of time letting someone know when they did something right. Commend somebody on a job well done. I realize you can make the argument that, well, if they're doing it right, they're doing it right. They're supposed to be doing it right. They should be doing it right. You shouldn't reward somebody for doing something the way it should be done. And you know what I mean. There are those that kind of try and toot their own horn when they do something that they should be doing anyway. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that there is this imbalance when it comes to human interaction. That everyone's looking for what the other person's doing wrong. Everybody's willing to go the extra mile, take that extra step to prove someone wrong, or to say, hey, what you're doing is stupid, or whatever it might be, rather than finding that balance and being willing to tell somebody something in the positive. And it becomes this cycle. Have you ever been in the city and you hear somebody honk out of anger at someone else in a car? And the other person honks back, and then someone else honks next to them because they thought they were honking at them. And then all of a sudden you have this big honk war going on, horn after horn after horn, because people are going to respond in kind. Unfortunately, what people don't do is respond kindly. And this cycle really births that place of resentment and anger and frustration. No one wants to do anything nice for each other. No one wants to point out something good. And if they point out something good, it usually comes with a swing of the left hand to point out something bad. There has to be a better ratio, don't you think? There has to be a better ratio of bad to good than just saying ugly things over and over. Sometimes people only focus on the negative, and a lot of times that does come from a place of love. The execution is what's bad. Parent or even a grandparent, obviously somebody that lived longer or had more experience, if they don't want to point out the potholes in life, whether they're in your personality or whatever it might be, if they see something might be a problem, they're going to want to point it out. But my goodness, there's a balance to all of this. There can be a way of telling somebody, hey, I would suggest X, Y, and Z, without having that be the total sum of every conversation you ever had. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 27 says, do not withhold good from those whom it is due, when it is your power to do it. That withholding of good, withholding of a kind word, withholding of a nice word, strangely enough, The word nice has interesting origins. It wasn't always a very complimentary term. It often referred to somebody who was very simple-minded. But the niceties in life, exchanging kind words, pointing out when somebody does something good, is important. Think about how you interact with anyone in your life and how they react to both positive and negative reinforcement. Scripture nails it on the head when it commands you not to withhold good from those whom it is due. Because when you do that, you build up resentment. You build up that kind of place of, now they're entitled to take a swipe at you. They don't even care what you're doing. It's good. Because really all they're doing is loading their emotional machine gun to fire back. Because that's kind of the rules of engagement that you set up, that you want to play by. And this week I want to get you in a different mindset. This week I want you to be focused, hyper-focused, on those things that are good. Those things that, and this isn't just Pollyanna garbage. This is truly to change your perspective in a way that you see some things that are really wonderful in the people around you and the things that you experience, rather than constantly being focused on the things that are negative or that are bad, looking to pick apart someone in hopes that maybe you'll get ahead by tearing someone down. It's never made sense to me. Say it's lonely at the top. Well, it's lonely at the top because you killed everyone emotionally to get there. And I want you to put yourself in a place this week where the negatives, let's make it 3 to 1. That's not a bad ratio, right? 3 positive things and 1 negative thing. So if you're going to criticize, make sure that you have room for genuine, not made up, authentic compliments as well. You are listening to the Jesus Christ Show. To ask your question, dial 800-520-1534.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Looking to save money this year? Look at Allstate. You can get the protection you need at the low rate you want. With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not your expectations. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
I just love me a summer vacation, or staycation, or playcation. Call it whatever you want, and I can do all 3 right here in Morongo. And now the top 5 reasons to visit Morongo. Number 5.
Save your cash and pay with points. It's simple. Play, earn, then pay for gas, gifts, and even a room with your rewards points.
Number 4.
Mark's Dining Hall or Polymart. The coolest brothers bring you the best burgers and fries slathered in raw sauce. Now open at Morongo.
3.
We bring the beach to you at Morongo. Oasis Pool has its own white sand beach.
Number 2.
Upgrade your stage spa experience. Get illuminating, rejuvenating, or chill mode eye gels for only $20 when you purchase any massage service.
And the number 1 reason.
You can't pick just one reason. The slots, the table games, restaurants, bars, Oasis Pool, stage spa, or the casitas. Pick them all.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo. Good times.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free phone call and learn your best price from nearly a dozen highly rated, price-competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote Life. For example, George is 40. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino. And believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-509-1667. That's 800-509-1667. 800-509-1667. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Demand for unskilled workers is sky high, but who wants that life? There's demand for hundreds of thousands of IT and cybersecurity professionals in the U.S. My Computer Career is training people to meet it. Get skilled. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Through July, grants are covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Have you heard about AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens? AMAC is the conservative alternative to other 50-plus groups. AMAC stands against the problems facing America: government growth, erosion of liberties, and the enormous financial burden future generations will inherit if we do nothing. Stand with us. Join today at amac.us/freedom. That's amac.us/freedom. amac.us/freedoms.
Don't overpay for glasses. Get 2 pairs and a free exam for just $69.95. The exam alone is worth $50. That's not just a better deal. It's America's best. Book your exam online today.
In certain states, eye exams provided by independent optometrists or ophthalmologists. See store for details.
The California coast is so beautiful, they write songs about it. I ought to write one called Always Wear Your Life Jacket. It might not be a hit, but it could save your life or the lives of the people you care about. Save the ones you love. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
Today at 5 traffic, we do have a crash in the South LA area, 110 southbound Slauson Avenue. This one has all lanes blocked. Traffic is backed up to 51st Street. Full closure in Costa Mesa. Road work on the 405 south from Fairview to the 73. All lanes closed until 9 a.m. And a crash working in the Phelan area, 138 southbound after Stone Basin Road. This one has all lanes blocked due to a jackknife Big Rip. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jonathan Weiss.
Show. I am your holy host. Happy to be with you this Sunday, as I'm with you every single Sunday right here, answering your questions and talking about the things that truly matter in life and the afterlife. I encourage you to be bold and brave and go to that phone with your theology question or life situation question anywhere in the U.S. of A. Dial 800-520-1534. That's 800-520-1534. Proverbs 3:27. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in your power to do it. Interestingly enough, it goes on to say in verse 28, do not say to your neighbor, go and come back, and tomorrow I will give it, when you have it with you. There's this sort of idea going on there about withholding and not giving compliments or not giving kindness in its due time. I'm not sure if the idea is that kindness is going to run out, if there's only a certain amount of kindness that the world has or that you have, and therefore you don't want to give it out at all. But think about the simple things in life. We try and point those out in the program, those simple things that if you don't participate in or if you don't give them out, they don't come back to you. And it's not just about making a sappy place to live. It's about thinking about how much ugliness you dump into the world on a daily basis. I mean, how much you actually create on your own. Everybody wants the world to change. Nobody wants to change themselves. Everybody wants things to get better. Nobody wants to pick up their emotional shovel and do their part. And so Scripture here is saying, don't get caught up in that cycle that can take place in a neighborhood. Because, you start in the small and you work out to the big. And you learn in those small sections as to what works and how it will work. And this whole section, starting at verse 27 in Proverbs 3, goes into that. Focusing on the ugly things, or going on to verse 29, do not devise harm against your neighbor while he lives in security beside you. That a neighbor, your neighbor, that you even should be able to be at a place of peace, living next door to someone, and not feel that they're trying to set you up for something. How many times do I get calls about people that are having problems with neighbors? That you can't get along, whether it's their animals or whatever it might be. Their late hours, their partying, the noise of their car, the way they don't upkeep their home. Whatever it might be, you get in these cycles of pulling each other apart rather than helping each other out. And I think that starts with a very basic and very simple act of kindness. And not looking for the things to tear them down, but looking for the things to lift them up. The good things in life. Not that there isn't opportunity sometimes or situations where somebody is just not a good person. But think about the difference here and how you participate in it.
You are listening to the Jesus Christ Show. To ask your question, dial 800-520-1534. KFI News on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks.
I'm Layla Muhammad, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. An LA City Councilman is making a move to prevent the repeat of a high-rise tragedy.
LA City Councilman Paul Corrett says it's important for LA to determine if there are any structural, geological, or environmental factors that could compromise the safety of high-rises and lead to a building collapse like the one that killed 98 people in Surfside, Florida. Corrett has introduced a motion that would require the city's Department of Building and Safety to map out where high-rises are and when they were last inspected. The motion will be reviewed by a committee before being considered by the full city council. Officials in Surfside are still trying to figure out what caused the complex to collapse last month. Amy King, KFI News.
Health officials in LA County say water samples show several beaches near Dockweiler still have higher than normal levels of bacteria in the water. Officials have been monitoring the area around the Hyperion water plant since the sewage spill that released 17 million gallons of sewage into the ocean last month. The Public Health Department says no untreated sewage is being discharged into the ocean, but swimmers in the area should still be careful. Well, marine researchers say they've spotted real-life versions of the popular Nickelodeon cartoon SpongeBob and Patrick Star in the Atlantic Ocean. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says scientists found a pink starfish and a square-shaped sea sponge sitting together on a rock during an expedition last week. Our researchers say even though SpongeBob and Patrick can be best friends on TV, starfish are actually known to eat sea sponges in real life. Why did that song just put a really big smile on my face? It's early. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. Oh, there's a crash on the 210.
It's going to be the Upland area on the eastbound side of that 210, right on Mountain Avenue. They have 2 lanes blocked, 2 left lanes. Right now the backup is to Baseline. Still have a police activity situation in South LA, 110 southbound at Slauson. This one has all lanes blocked. Traffic is backing up to 51st. And to Phelan, still a bad wreck here on the 138 southbound after Stone Basin Road. This one has all lanes blocked, and it looks like a jackknife big rig there. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Jonathan White.
Southland weather from KFI. Partly cloudy today with highs in the low 70s for the beaches, mid to upper 80s for Metro LA and Inland OC, low to mid 90s for the valleys and the Inland Empire. We lead local live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Layla Muhammad.
can do together. So let's keep rising, California.
Y ahí nos vamos. El mundo es grande, pero lo tengo en mis manos. Estoy muy duro, sí, ok, vamos. Y con el tiempo nos seguimos elevando.
Get vaccinated and wear a mask when it can protect you and others. Your actions save lives. To learn more, visit covid19.ca.gov.
Hey, Gary, how are things?
Things are great, but I crushed my mortgage payment with owning without even leaving my couch. I got a no closing cost refi at a great low rate, and owning did it all in less than 3 weeks. It was easy, no muss, no fuss.
Be like Gary. Call Owning at 855-5-OWNING and crush your mortgage payment with today's 30-year fixed refi at 2.625% rated APR with no closing costs. None. Zero. Even if you've refinanced recently, call 855-5-OWNING and let us crush your monthly payment even more. That's 855-5-OWNING or log on to owning.com.
NMLS 2611, licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, subject to credit approval. Call 823-852-6464 for terms and conditions.
You can crush it too with a 30-year fixed 2.625% rate in APR with absolutely no closing costs.
Let me be straight with you. This is a radio commercial for 3 small business insurance. With 3, your entire business is covered. So while you can't see the following scene, just know that this contractor's business is protected by 3.
Hey, toss me that drill?
Yeah, man. Heads up.
Oh, that looks expensive.
Now this is an insurance moment. But 3's got it covered. 3 is a product of Berkshire Hathaway Direct Insurance Company. 3, no nonsense, just common sense.
I want to break free.
Ready to break free? Norwegian Cruise Line is back and sailing this summer. Kick back in the Caribbean or take in the stunning sights in Europe. And with our robust health and safety programs, you can cruise confidently. Book today and enjoy 30% off all cruises, free open bar, free airfare, and more. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Offer ends soon. Norwegian Cruise Line. Sail safe.
4 times 4 and 30. 4.
KFI would like to thank the Radio and Television News Association for making KFI News the winningest news outlet in Southern California.
KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
An iHeart radio station.
Show. I am your holy host. Happy to be with you this Sunday as I'm with you every single Sunday right here, answering your questions and talking about things that truly matter in life and the afterlife. I encourage you to be bold and brave and go to the phone with your theology question or life situation question anywhere in the U.S. of A. Dial 800-520-1534. That's 800-520-1534. Also, you can follow us during the week and during the show on Twitter at Jesus Show. At Jesus Show. Johnny